Good afternoon and welcome to Friday Afternoon Cartoons for this lucky 13 Friday, May the 13th. You don't know how lucky you are. Again, back in the abode of Wayne's place. Again, like we've been here many times over the past couple of years, and we're back today. We have a special guest here with us all the way in from England, Dave Cambridge of Cardinal Fuzz Records. Many of you actually know Dave personally, and most people are well aware of Cardinal Fuzz as it's a really great record label that we've been fortunate enough to hear lots of excellent, challenging music for well over a decade, and that will continue down the road. Welcome to Canada, Dave.
Hello, and thanks for having me, you two.
You're quite welcome. Now, Dave, if you were following Friday morning cartoons when this program was heard on CKCU-FM for, actually 3 decades until a couple of years ago, you have seen, or not seen, but heard Dave, because Dave has been over you're thinking this was your 5th trip.
5 times, John, and obviously always a ratings hit when I'm on your show, I presume.
Yes, exactly. Ratings go through the roof. But Dave has partaken in some of the Friday afternoon cartoons shows over the previous 5 or 6 years, as it was, and it's been we were actually shocked to think the other day when you arrived here that it's been actually 3 years since you were here last.
Look, it's the same for everyone, John. Time is it's just stopped for everyone. So
yeah.
As we was counting down, you think, you know it's a long time, but you think it isn't that long. It doesn't seem that long since I saw Zeus.
Yeah, that's true.
Never mind you two.
No,
Carol and John.
Well, it's interesting because Wayne and I actually were mused about that for definitely the majority of 2020, because I guess we started maybe the last weekend of March that year, I think.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, and I know every week for the first, 5 or 6 months, we were often drawn into the fact that it was like time was actually moving sort of quickly, even though a lot of people had reduced whatever it was in their daily lives in terms of travel, mostly because you were working at home. I was, by design, well, actually, I guess I was I
still at the store?
No, I was still at the store, but I was in the process of moving, yeah. So time took on a whole different tangent. And I'm kind of thinking it's still sort of in that. I mean, it's racing, but it's still, many people have sort of rearranged the way that they conduct their daily lives.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about live shows, John, it's still like getting into the flow of things. And obviously, a lot of people, quite rightly, are still worried about going, as they should be, by the way. I'm not saying so.
No,
it's not quite as it was.
No, it's not, and may never actually return to the same kind of pace or presentation that it was before. I mean, we took everything for granted, right?
Of course.
And now you can't do that. One thing, though, we can take for granted is Acid Mother's Temple. Not that this is a new record, but we can take for granted the fact that they have arguably the largest collection of released music in rock history. I would say that. I can't prove that. I don't know if that's statistical. For me, at least, that makes me rather joyous because I'm a huge fan, as everybody well knows. So we're starting today, and we're gonna pepper this in between, because as regular viewers of this program know, we only have one turntable due to a sad mishap, which we won't go into, but so we're going to use this as the segue with cheerful conversation for you. Thank you for tuning in today. So we're going to get right into some music here while IAO chant from the Cosmic Inferno is blasting away here. We're going to segue into a track from Ladio Balaco. Well, do you want to say some words about this, Dave?
Well, I can't say many words because I did until about 48 hours ago. I never knew of this record, and obviously, when you come to John's, it is an amazing experience. All those that have seen pictures of John's basement and his record, it's just like they're just pictures. They're not. It's when you're immersed in the real thing of John just curating your listening. I think at the moment I've bought, as long as Faye won't be watching this, so this is fine to say, it's about up to 15 records that I've bought so far, which is just John knowing the buttons to push for me, and he knew instantly as soon as he played this. I feel like an idiot, 'cause this is a box set on No Quarter. Not only that, there is another box set coming on Castleface in the next few days, probably released either this Friday or next Friday. And I heard this, I was like, oh my God, this is like just sinking straight into it. It's got a lovely, John, how would you describe the stylistic vibe? Because if I said jazz, it isn't jazz per se.
Improvised psych-based experimental rock.
The reason I said that is because on the box set, it's obviously got a guy with like, some sort of brass instruments. That's what I thought it was going to be, and this was it's got like a John Cale Velvet's gnarly organ in the background, while there's just this beautiful improv going over the top. But it's all very raw and feeds directly into my soul of the shit that I love best. So
there you go.
No further ado.
There's not much more that can be said other than that. So we're gonna hear an excerpt from the first track on this 3 LP set with a bonus live DVD. This is actually, it was entirely unreleased shit. The box that Dave was speaking of that's coming out on Castleface, it's actually physical because Forced Exposure has it in the States, so it should be in anyone's discerning line of purchase by next week or the week after due to distro, that kind of thing. But that one, the new one, is on Castleface, and it is actually the first time vinyl release of their 2 proper albums that are going back in time. These guys are not a band anymore. This was back in the day, but this is great shit. So without further ado, Ladio Balaco and 43 minutes of an excerpt here on Friday Afternoon Cartoons. You're with Wayne, John, and Dave here on Friday afternoon cartoons for this Friday, May the 13th. Acid Mother's Temple in the background, and an excerpt of a track that was titled Excerpt. Presumably somewhere there's a much longer version of that, a sidelong piece from Ladio Balaco, an excellent box set, unbelievably still available, live and unreleased, 97 through 2000. 3 LP set, a live CD. The CD is worth its weight in gold. And Dave actually, after he heard one side of this, actually you ordered it online.
Well, people, anybody listening in the UK, don't order till I get back, because I've got it in my basket, and if I get back and it's out of my basket because one of you buggers has bought it, I'll be upset. That is what I live for.
Yeah, that kind of shit. Yeah, it's an amazing thing, and I initially knew them because I had the CDs in the shop when they came out prior to this, obviously way prior, and I'd heard them and I dug them, but I didn't buy them because I wasn't the world's biggest CD fan at that point in time. And they sold pretty well, and then when this thing came out, I was like, oh shit. And I think it was Mark Mullner from Horseman Pass By, good friend of mine, who alerted me to the fact that this was coming, and he requested a copy, and I looked and I'm like, holy fuck, and it's cheap. Like, it's in Canada, it's $40 Canadian for a 3 LP CD box set.
Which nowadays,
that's insanely cheap, and the price still maintains itself because I do have it presumably still gettable. So it's
there's a really nice on each of the 3 LPs on the inlay. There's a nice history written by Kid Millions of all people.
Yes,
so he's obviously a fan of the band as well.
Yeah, and probably friends with them too, I'm sure.
So, yeah.
But yeah, it's well worth investigating, and I'll put in a plug, and I'm not making any money off it because that's not my motivation at all ever in music. But the proper albums are seeing their first time vinyl issuance on Castleface. It's actually physically out because Forced Exposure have it. It'll be a matter of a week or two before it's around these parts, and it's the way that goes. I'm going to actually, you know what, fuck it. I'm not even going to bother queuing this shit because I'm just going to drop it in the groove and we'll hope for the best. We'll just mix into it. We'll do it old school. We've only got one turntable here, so we'll try that. So we're going to hear a track from a great band called the Phantom Band, which features, among a bunch of other people, Yaki Liebezeit from the legendary Can, the late Mr. Liebezeit, a fantastic drummer. Phantom Band, 3 great records. This is the album Freedom of Speech. This is some great shit on the Sky record label going back to the 1980s, late 70s, early 80s. Brain Police by
Phantom Band.
Yeah, Phantom Band. And I'm trying to figure out where it is. There we go. Got to get the right faders in here. Here we are. Enjoy.
Is your question? What is your question to me? That is my answer. That is my answer to you.
Friday afternoon cartoons with John Wayne and our special guest Dave Cambridge for this lucky Friday 13th. Hope you're digging the rock and getting your weekend started with Friday afternoon cartoons. And I guess it's early for us. Normally, when we started doing this at Wayne's, it was called Friday morning cartoons, and we were sticking to the original time frame of the radio show of the same name on CKCU. And once that came to an end, we switched eventually to I guess mid-afternoon. Originally we were 3 till 6, and then we changed to 4 till 6.
Yeah.
And we were working around Wayne getting busier with work, even though he's lucky enough. We were just talking about how lucky he's been. And we shall congratulate him on a job promotion right now.
Thank you.
And his continued success of being able to work permanently at home for the foreseeable future, which is just fucking awesome. At this point in time in the year, too, man, the pool is already honking.
Yeah.
Wayne has no trees. He gets sunshine when it's sunny 24/7, and it's been like 30 degrees for the last 3 days. And
Yeah. Pool's warm.
Yeah, the pool's, man, we both stuck our arms in it, Dave and I, and it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be swimming tomorrow in one or the other sort of things. But I digress. Music here. In that last set, you just heard a newly minted vinyl version of a 2017 cassette-only release from Dewey Mahood from Eternal Tapestry, one of the great modern-day psychedelic bands from the west coast of the U.S. I absolutely adore every record that they ever did. And Dewey, of course, has been operating under the moniker of Plankton Watt for many years and has a shitload of really absolutely stellar solo releases out. So this is a brand new vinyl release. In fact, the street date on it is not until next week, I think, May 20th. But that's what she looks like. It's on Thrill Jockey Records, a limited edition vinyl pressing, of course, on nice orange vinyl see-through, which is impossible to queue up on a turntable, as I just discovered. I was going to play a different track, but then it was like, okay, I can see that groove and the light coming through the window. That was the title track, by the way. It's the only track that's available for you to listen to on his Bandcamp site. But what a great record. Dave and I played this yesterday morning, I think, or the morning before last. It's a pretty deep dive, as usual, for Plankton Watt, Hidden Path. The record we heard before it, Carl Erdman, Tortella Flats, on the Morning Trip record label, an album called Bizarro Fights. A really crazy, maybe show a picture of Carl here. Total loner, Eastern Mystic, Americana guitar soli meets Eastern Psych Mystic, laid back, out there. What a great record it is. I read about this coming out about a month or so ago, so I made note of it. One of my distros in the States offered it up at a reasonable price, and I ordered a batch of them, and it's a wicked record. I never heard of the guy. I mean, Private Press back in 1981 when it originally came out. Dave didn't know it. I think he dug that yesterday. Yeah, fantastic. And there are a few people that help him out, on one track or two. Like, for instance, Larry Ty played bass on that track. Otherwise, Carl handles another one of these geniuses: 6 12-string guitar, bass, sitar, kalimba, tabla, drums, saxophone, and assorted percussion. You got to admire those people. We know a few of those people. Greg Watson, Grog, as he's known on Facebook, Orange Alabaster Mushroom fame. He's a man of deep talent. There's nothing the guy can't play. I really admire people like that. It's got to be you have to have a particular special brain, I think, to be able to do that. I mean, you're fairly adept at a bunch of shit, but you don't play the sax.
No.
What's the problem, Wayne? Get on that. You've got lots of time. You're living at home. You're working at home. Take your lunch break and learn to play the saxophone.
Yeah. I'll go back to my box of shame.
Yeah, there you go. No, I'm just kidding. Before Carl Erdman, Phantom Band, of course, a pretty stellar record, the first of 3, and not really a Can offshoot at all, but Yaki Liebezeit was the drummer, and Roscoe G eventually came into the band for the second or third album. I can't remember which. We didn't play that last night. Dave and I listened to this one, so that's why I pulled it. Brain Police, the title of that track from Phantom Band on Sky Records from way back when. Pretty great record. Well, you already heard me talk about the weather. It's like hotter than Hades already, which is more than welcome, because I'm thinking, trying to do the math on it, like 10 days ago we had 3 centimeters of snow, and gardens and whatnot had been coming up in that, and that didn't really hamper it. We had frost warnings like pretty near every night last week in our region, the national capital region, as I like to refer to it as. But in the last 4 days, I don't know, those of you in my hood that have gardens, it's like you're literally, if you stood out there in the sun for the past 4 days and overnight, like shit is just like, you can see it, fucking stuff growing. It's insane how much bigger things are getting, like instantaneously. It's just that pivotal little switch in the heat and the sunshine, and it's like bang, all of a sudden. It's really good. Traditionally on this program, there's been beer features. So Wayne, would you like to do the honor of introducing what we're drinking?
Now you're back.
Hello.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, it's okay. So Sterling.
Sorry, guys.
This was a record. I've got to say, this is the new one from Sterling, who goes under the name Ambassador Hazy. And John got the first LP, Glacial Erratics. Obviously posted it on his page, and I fell deep in love with it straight away and got in touch with Sterling. And luckily, Sterling is always recording, and this album came. It's one of my most favourite Cardinal Fuzz sleeves, sort of thing. And it is gorgeous. It's got, to me, like a sky green leopard sort of vibe going on. Obviously you can maybe tie it a little bit into Elephant 6 and things like that, but I just fell deep in love with it. Thank you, Sterling. Amazing sleeve. And that's about as much rubbish as I can talk in one go.
Uh-oh. And by the same token, I had a customer by the shop today, and I had pulled that record out, and that was the first thing that he remarked. He goes, "Wow, that's an amazing sleeve." Now I had a customer show up. I'm going to tell tales out of class here, but I had a customer show up today picking up records that he's been amassing with me for about maybe 5 months. He's had some family issues that he had to deal with. Elderly parents. His dad passed away maybe just a month or so ago, and his mom's on her own in Montreal. So he's been pretty much living there, sort of sorting her, helping her deal with that transition. So he had a pretty decent stack of records that he'd amassed, and he messaged me yesterday and said he'd like to come by today and pick them up, which he did. He was there promptly at 9:15, as he said he would be, and he was pretty thrilled to meet Dave. He's a big fan of Cardinal Fuzz Records, but when I pulled the Ambassador Hazy out, not because I didn't do that, hey, he put this out, I pulled it out because he was talking about new things and whatnot, and he was just like, he bought it on the strength of the the sleeve.
He's not going to be let down.
No, well, musically he's deep, so
I
he'll get
can't
it.
tell very much. So.
Exactly. My book fell on the ground. So we're going to hear a track from Ambassador Hazy, who is Sterling Deweese, and a track, I guess it's called Percolator. So this is the second to last track on side B. Whole album, fantastic. As Dave said, the first one, freaking amazing. And I think there's something else, a new project that's due pretty soon too. But here's Ambassador Hazy on vinyl here on Friday afternoon cartoons. Yeah.
Well, that's quite cool, that, doesn't it?
Yeah, the green screen, the chroma key filter on album covers. If there's certain colors of greens and yellows on the album cover art, the chroma key hits it, turns it into the background.
Definitely. Like a trippy lake.
Yeah.
Running through it. Where's the acid?
Yeah. Or the mushrooms.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
What? You can hear us? What the fuck? The mics are muted. How can they hear us?
What? They can't hear it?
No, they said they can hear our mics. Weird. They're mic'd. You guys can still hear this? They're muted. Oh wait, I might know what it is.
Do we look like professionals?
Oh, yeah. I'll figure this out. Give me a sec. One of these is on.
Sing along, Dave.
Oh, those are all down. That microphone's off. This one is off. Those are all down. Sounds like professionals.
Sounds like who's done that? Yeah, of course he did.
Okay, let me figure this out. What the fuck? That might be here.
Here with John Wayne and Dave here on Friday afternoon cartoons on this hot, sunny, somebody's phone's ringing. It's probably that same fucking 855 number that keeps calling me.
It's Facebook warning you about your content.
613-212. I don't recognize that number. They've just hung up. Maybe they're listening and thinking, oh, don't give my phone number away. I know I'm a dick for
we just
calling
got the,
you while you're doing your
We just
thing.
got the content warning here. So
we did.
If they kill us, we'll start a new feed.
Oh, there we go. Yes,
I don't know
But
what.
and we should say, as has the practice been for the last year or whatever, this show gets recorded while we're doing it and gets uninterrupted by being muted and stuff. So yeah, it's all fine and good. You're like enjoying the show. We love the fact you're watching it live, but don't ever bother to watch the thing after the fact on Facebook. There's no point because we almost always get our asses kicked for content.
Whatever,
If we play jazz with a sax or a fucking trumpet in
sax,
it, it's automatically classified as Miles Davis because we were learning hard lessons originally. And I'm kidding. I know it's an algorithm. I'm not that stupid. I may look it, but I'm not. But the point being, this show gets recorded. Wayne ups it overnight, and it's on YouTube in living, glowing, dining and dancing pleasure, unmeasurable for the remainder of our lives and those that come after us.
And 5.1 Dolby Surround.
That's it. And it gets posted on the Birdman blog spot, which has been in existence for eons and has so much fun information on that goes back, Jesus, I don't know how long it goes back. That's actually how Dave discovered me, in a way.
Completely nutty, 2010. The day my life ended.
Yeah, financially maybe.
Financially, in every way.
which is funny. But Yeah, blogs are cool, and I have to say, you know, I was diligent at keeping that up when I started it. I was all keen, and then I got bored by it, and I actually dropped it for like 3 or 4 years, and about 4 years ago, it was kind of like, maybe I'll get back into it. Now it's like, you know, I mean, you're not going to learn anything you haven't fucking learned before, but every once in a while I'll trot out a record review. But it's shit. It's fun like this to create a link for something that's a little out of the ordinary. And Dave and Brett have participated with our year-end lists the past couple of years, and
I'm trying to forget about that guy. I've come all the way over here not to hear his name mentioned.
Well, no, and this is we're leading into this. So, Dave, I'll let you take it away because he's your best friend. So, tell everybody what today is.
Well, of course, happy birthday to Brett Savage, the one and only. Missing you, buddy. Hope you liked your present. Don't bring it back to me if you don't. You're stuck with it. Okay, but hope you're really well, Brett. Hope your mum's okay as well. And send it best from here. And you know, you stupid idiot, get yourself over it next time, okay?
Yeah, there you go.
Cheers, Brett.
Happy birthday, Brett. And if you're a friend of Brett's and don't know it, it is his birthday. So if you're on social media, if you're on Facebook and you're a friend of Brett's or whatever, a friend of mine, you're not a friend of Brett's, Dave and I put up some stuff this morning, and get on there and wish the guy a happy birthday. He couldn't ask for a better dude. He's a great guy and a fucking amazing musician. And Dave, let's fill us in on Dead Sea Apes. I heard there's a new record coming.
I have been
a while away, but
everybody knows that there's no point going into the whole pressing time thing because you all know that. It's funny because I just seen a while ago Steve Krakow was on the feed, and there was some very exciting. It's like because you want to get really excited. And I have heard the new Plastic Crime Wave Syndicate LP, and I had the biggest grin on my face. When I get back, we'll be sending it off to get mastered. But as everybody knows, then they have the lag of everything catching up. But you will be ready to get your face melted with that. There's also some cool Spiral Galaxy news to come. So not for me. I will feed this out of my Facebook and all that rubbish as it comes. But it's exciting news. I'm now blathering on, John, and I've totally forgotten. New Dead Sea Apes.
Dead Sea Apes, yeah. So, I was going to say, but I was asking about Dead Sea Apes.
Oh, yeah, and I just changed the subject.
I know,
as
kidding,
is my
I'm
one,
kidding.
as I go off on my voyages. But so
that's what you're supposed to do on vacation. See, you are relaxed.
Oh,
you needed that.
Oh, I'm always relaxed, always. So Dead Sea Apes actually played quite a few times in the last month. They played over at the Liverpool Psych Fest, and they throbbed. It was so good. I know they played with the Black Doldrums over in Manchester, and then literally if I flew here Monday morning, I saw them Sunday night playing at this Ukrainian fundraiser, and again, they were so good. But the thing is, at the moment, they've pretty much recorded the album, but they're just getting up a bed of songs all recorded so that they can sit back and relax. But okay, it's always overhyping it to state that this is the new best thing ever, man. Oh, it's so good, it's the best. The Dead Sea Apes is they are always travelling in new directions, and this is super heavy, probably the heaviest thing they've done. And
I'll take 2.
You'll take about 20, John.
Yeah, I know I will. Yeah, I'll have at least 20 people after you said that. I'll be getting messages for the next 2 days.
So it's really exciting, but it's really hard because it's recorded. In most parts, I think Brett was saying there's a couple of overdubs that he really wants to nail, and he's really keen on nailing it rather than just letting it go. And even when it's done, then it's going to be. We are in the year 2022. Tell me, probably early 2023. So it's so long away as well. And it's like,
very true.
I am super excited. Dead Sea Apes. Everybody knows. If they ever listen to me, I'm like, I think it's criminal that to some degree they have not really been picked up by the British press. And as always, a big to the British press for totally ignoring them. But that's just the way of life, innit?
Was that your style of the finger?
Yeah.
Did you do that?
This way.
Oh, you did too.
Yeah,
See here, we
that's
up yours.
peace.
Yeah,
That's the opposite.
That's up yours. Yeah, right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Well, and kudos for you for like standing behind. Well, I mean, we've talked about it. I mean, how many times have I said Dead Sea Apes like fucking pride of England, man?
Yeah.
One of my favorites, boy, of the past decade or more. Speaking of favorites, though, Candodo, Witch Doctor.
Oh God, that is that was Lord of Hyena. Tell me, was it not? I thought it was Lord of Hyena
See? Yeah.
that we played.
Yep. No, I thought we played second song on side 2. Oh, maybe it wasn't.
No.
It's
Did you
hard
write
to
it
tell
down?
on this.
It was definitely large.
Did you write it down?
Okay. I wrote Witch Doctor
Like-
down because
like
I was
John-
looking at the second
Correct.
track. So
That album, all of them. that
Yeah, it's
album
killer.
Is so good.
Yeah.
Everybody knows I'm lucky to know Simon, and
Yep.
I think I'm actually, when I get back home, if I can swing it with Faye and then going up to Northumberland to stay over with Simon. He says he's got loads of Candodo tracks that he wants to play as he's sort of starting to whittle down for his next LP. So
Next studio album. Nice.
I'm really excited about that because I'm the type of idiot who gets excited about listening to music for 20 hours non-end sort of thing. So I will be,
Yeah.
that'll be another buzz for me sort of.
Well, the newest record that bears the Candodo name, which was recorded at Roadburn.
That's right, yeah, with Robert Hampson. Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Oh,
Like
it's so
that-
much
what
good.
a great record
Do you know
that
what?
is.
It's just sort of like, I haven't come here, I'm not going to niggle, but again, it did so well. I've had so much really good reaction to it, and it'd be nice if it got 1 or 2 decent reviews along the line. I don't know if it's because it was a live album that people think it's not worth reviewing or something like that. I'm just
Jesus.
like, as always, John.
It's
so-
it's a totally
so
original,
shocked.
improvised piece of
Yeah.
work. What the fuck
And
do
the
they want?
numpties that are about sometimes, but
Yeah. God. Anyway, frustration continues.
frustration.
Prior to that, arguably one of the most exciting things that has ever come in a box set, when a group like Faust offer up a studio record that was never released when it was recorded, and that's exactly what you heard. An album entitled Punked, P-U-N-K-T. Perhaps you remember seeing it on the screen a few short minutes ago. A track called Morning Land. That album is like, it's up there with the best of their best, like,
Well, our discussion is like, when people feel like they're scraping the vault, what are you going to get? And you're like, how did this never come out?
well, yeah, I mean,
And it is, if anybody's listening, it is coming out as a standalone. 'Cause it is
Yes.
part of the box set.
yes,
But it is coming out as a standalone.
yeah, which is a very cool thing to do because not everybody's going to fork over to, well, you say it's now out of print anyway.
I can't see it anyway. I think
Yeah.
it's about £170 in the UK.
Yeah,
for that box
it's an
set.
expensive endeavor,
It's,
yeah.
it's worth it because it'll stay with you for life, but you've got to have the money initially to be able to lay down for
Yes.
that.
So for those that don't know, and I know the listeners of this program are like deep music heads for sure, but if you don't know and you like Faust, the box set that Bureau B released is 7 LPs and 2 singles and a booklet. It's a very nice package. It's the first 4 studio albums proper. Then there's this unreleased album, Punked, and then it's 2 vinyl LPs of previously all unreleased material, and the 2 singles are like, I think, are they repros of ultra rare things that were done? But it's an amazing set. Now, I've always taken great offense to the overuse of the word amazing. I went to great lengths to say that so much that people thought I was probably a total fucking asshole. But I'm not the guy that applies amazing to much, but a Faust box set in the year 2022, given the circumstances of everything in the world, including getting a record made, much less getting a box set made by a band like Faust, that's amazing. That in 2022 we can get that kind of shit. Anyway, that track was called Morning Land by Faust, and before that we had Percolator by Ambassador Hazy, which we extolled the virtues of that album in Sterling, and that is Cardinal Fuzz recently released record.
I best quickly put in as well, it's on Hazy House, which is Sterling's label in the USA.
Yes.
I've totally sold out. Sterling's still got copies, so if you look up Hazy House, Bandcamp, please go and get it. I'm talking, Sterling's already got his next album recorded. That'll be going for mastering very soon, and I'd really, really like to do a small pressing of Glacial Erratics because I think people need to hear it. I know there's lots of music.
Yeah, that record's
there's
sick.
always an abundance of music out there, but some music you need.
There you have it. Cardinal speaketh, and support goes directly to the artist. So hit Sterling up on Bandcamp and get your copy today because it's worth its weight in gold. It's an exceptional record. You're with Wayne and John and Dave here on Friday Afternoon Cartoons. We're here till 1 p.m.
Sure.
our time.
Can I just say hi to Steve as well?
To Steve Krakow, yes. Hey, Steve. Hope you're doing well down there. Good to see you on the porch the other day. back to your guitar exercises. That's good for you, and it's good for us. So keep that up. There we go. And looking forward to what's coming down the pipe for you for new music, because I know there's a bunch of it. So excellent. So we're back to more music right now. This is I won't waste a lot of time talking about any of this, but there's a brand new record that's just seen light of day in the past couple of weeks out of New York State by a group of dudes who go by the name of Valley of Waits. And Valley of Waits features Mike Griffin, who is in Burnt Hills, also in Sky Furrows, who, in my opinion, have made one of the best albums of the past, 5 years. That record, I just can't stop listening to it. It's the first thing I played Dave, maybe night one when he got in, and Dave actually said, I hope you have another copy of that.
Ka-ching.
Yeah, and it's just so good. The Sky Furrows. The Valley of Waits record is a pretty sick event. It's a double LP, self-released. The first album is basically a five-piece. I'm going to say five-piece rock outfit who actually have command of what they're doing. It's good. It's not a pigeonhole kind of sound. It's just really good. It recalls a whole whack of shit when you listen to it. Side 3 and 4 are like two sidelong excursions into fully improvised commando mode, and they're brilliant. But it's a really great record. We're going to start this next set off with that, Valley of Waits, and a track called I Was a Wartime Draftsman. And I'm going to send this out to Kevin McFadden, who made a comment the other day and definitely keyed on that track. So, Kevin's probably not listening, but all the tracks on this are good. But I'm going to send that out to Kevin McFadden of Sunrise Ocean Bender Records. So there we go. Here's Valley of Waits on Friday Afternoon Cartoons.
I feel Scented sagebrush dotted the red cliffs. Between curves, we caught glimpses of waves, turning to spray on black rocks below. The centrifugal force threw us. The accelerating engine excited us. We too were in a rush. We longed to be closer. A motel appeared in the distance. Daylight drowned its rooftop neon. The sun chimed its hours. The moon pulled the tide of our hands. Rented a room. A row of blue doors faced the ocean. Narrow timbered legs extended down the cliffside beneath the balcony. The lock was broken on the inside. We didn't know what to do. There was no phone, no TV. We were afraid to leave. We ate what we had with us. Bags of chips, warm soda from a convenience store. A painting of the ocean hung next to a window with the same view. The sun hastened its hours. The moon pulled the tide of our hands. Filtered our senses. Darkness stole into the room. Transparent crests and peaks played across the walls. The sound of waves grew louder. We lay on our backs, listening. Each crash became distinct. Each seemed defiant and alive. We felt as if we were at war with an unseen enemy. Each wave a soldier wielding a bayonet, aiming to pierce us. as they fell one by one to their deaths on the rocks below, they nevertheless pressed closer to us. The night chased its hours. The moon pulled the tide of our hands. Shut. We heard murmuring voices, bursts of laughter. Footsteps approached along the balcony. We lay frozen side by side as if in a shared coffin, staring upward, afraid to speak. There was nothing we could do. Neither one of us could protect the other. We had no plan, no weapon. We were only one person. Silence was emerging. Fear a single artery connecting our blood. Night abandoned its hours. The moon pulled the tide of our hands. Stopped outside our room. The stranger's shadow rippled on the curtain. For a while he didn't move. Life drained out of us. We were dead as water, dead as rocks, dead as the road that threaded the cliffs. And in that death was a joining, a temporal absence from ourselves. The motion that had brought us here wound backwards like a marble up a ramp. Mere physics carried us. Consciousness without will. Daylight dawned its hours. The moon pulled the tide of our hands. breeze carried smoke into the room. The sensation jolted us. Time started up again. The sound of waves diminished. We realized in a rush that he was not there to hurt us. We were not one person. Moments offered themselves for the choosing. His footsteps resumed along the deck and down the stairs at the side of the building. We pulled our suitcases out from the closet, our money from inside a pillowcase shoved at the foot of the bed. The sun chimed its hours. The moon pulled the tide of our hands.
Old
Big time.
habits
Very
die
good.
hard.
Yeah.
Finally made that mistake and didn't plug my headphones in as history bears out for the last couple of years here on Friday Afternoon Cartoons, which is what you were tuned to right now in the dying moments. I hate to say it, but we're almost done for today. Friday, Lucky 13, Friday Afternoon Cartoons. We're not going to do this regular again, but Wayne and I were just telling Dave, we will be back. We'll be back when it fits and works into our lives, and then hopefully yours as well. We just finished a set there featuring new music, newly released music from America's Abronia, a track called Games, and prior to that, we heard Sky Furrows and Sonata off one of the great records of the last couple of years, and Valley of Waits in there with I Was a Wartime Draftsman. Abronia.
Go on, John.
Coming to England
yeah, please.
soon.
So I am not hooked up while I'm on my holiday, working holiday to Canada, but please go check Abronia for the EU dates that they're playing. I'm going to see them when they're playing Manchester. I've got them staying over as well, so really looking forward to meeting Eric and all of Abronia. They're playing the Supersonic Festival in the UK as well. I think they might be playing one or two festivals while they're on the mainland in Europe. And let's fingers crossed, everybody, that no COVID strikes or anything like that.
Exactly.
And they make it over. Another thing is John played the Sky Furrows there, and I am definitely going to be getting in touch with them when I get back to the UK.
Nice.
About a release. One other word, I just saw Tom Graham on there. Tom, we'll talk about Leeds when we get back. It's obviously pretty devastating, but keep the faith, my man.
There you go. A little bit of soccer.
Football.
Well, yeah, football. Right. Football and rock. Sports and rock. That's good. And I have to say, what time is it in Australia right now? It's got to be pretty damn early in the day.
Very, very early. I will just quickly say that Brett Savage has just said.
Oh,
Hello.
Brett's in there.
So
Yeah.
Brett, you missed it, but we did sing "Happy Birthday" to you. John baked a cake
Sang it.
earlier, and we've ate it on your behalf. It was gorgeous.
Yep.
And see you soon.
Yeah, there you go. Happy birthday, Brett. So we're gonna close out again. Thanks to my partner in crime here, Wayne Coolis. Always nice to be over at his abode. And I should mention that Chris Laramie, who you know from shitload of projects, Wasted Cathedral for one, Shooting Guns, Radiation Flowers, Switching Yard. Chris said to say hello. He's almost here in Ottawa. He's landing in a little bit. We're gonna
And he
go
didn't
pick
bring
him
any
up.
clothes with him either.
No, apparently we're gonna chuck him in the pool tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing a band whose name is a symbol super session with Chris in the band because he's actually properly an alumni of the band, and we're gonna have some fun tomorrow. You'll see it and hear it.
Yeah.
You know. So that's what we're up
John,
to this
John,
weekend.
before you cue this record, and not to sort of take away from the music, I just want to say here, it's a pleasure to be with these two guys. First of all, a musical education is what I come from, John. I've got some ideas that I am going to put out to the UK audience when I get back home, because John is a master curator. You all know that. You all listening to this show. You all hear music you've not heard before. And one of the pleasures for me coming to see John and sit downstairs in his basement while he just throws records and new music. And, I think I'm pretty well versed. I know, not in an egotistical way. I think I know my shit. And then I find out I don't know nothing until John plays me so much. And I've got this idea that for John to curate music for an audience of British people, but I'll come back onto that when I get home. John, Wayne, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. For sure, and we will do it again at some point down the road, another year, another time.
Who invited Chris Laramie?
I don't know.
He invited himself, actually. But that's typical Canadian. Canadians are always inviting themselves somewhere, which is not a bad thing. That's a good thing. We look forward to that. So on that tip that Dave just said, I ordered a record the other day online from Telephone Explosion by Canadian band Holy Cobras, and it came. And in it is a free record. Who the fuck sends free records out that they pay hard-earned cash
Not
for?
me.
No, not you. And I'm looking at it going, what the hell's this? So I look online. The thing isn't even out for another few weeks, but it's a fabulous record. It's a jazz record out of the Toronto underground jazz scene. The dude that leads the band, his name is Brody West. The band is called Eucalyptus. Killer record called Moves. We're going to leave you with a track from that.
Yeah, just that. but sometimes sleeves talk to you, and this is a sleeve that definitely talks to you.
Yeah, Wayne's going to give it the green screen treatment. So have yourselves a good day, a great weekend, a great week ahead. We'll see you down the road here on Friday. Afternoon cartoons, Eucalyptus from the album Moves, a track called Cuckoo Beat. We're out. Ciao for now.